This episode contains language that is not suitable for minors. Please enjoy responsibly. And now, today's episode. I'm going to slate in because we never get the chance once the barn doors open.
Once the barn doors open.
That's true. Hello and welcome to The Beatdown. This is episode 3 of season 2 of The Beatdown. I'm your host, joined by Chris Hewlin and John Rosso. And we begin now. We've been talking about Ringo Starr, Chris. I was mentioning that I watched that interview and I listened to his new album, and I started going back to his other records.
It's an EP, right?
It's an EP. That's all he's doing now. Yep. So he's selling those $10 cassettes with 4 songs on it.
I think they're right. Or 12. Okay. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah. But what I started doing, because I was looking back at some of these older albums and then looking it up online, and I was like, as I was telling John, I was like, oh, there's a song written by John Lennon, there's a song written by Paul McCartney, and George Harrison is co-writing with him. And I wondered, are these guys giving him throwaway songs, or are they legitimately helping him out and writing quality stuff? Anyone care to take that one?
Well,
and how
we're talking specifically about Ringo record?
Yeah, how was the relationship with the former, with the bandmates at that point?
I think it's somewhat telling. Does Paul McCartney contribute to the Ringo record at all, John?
It's 6 o'clock. It's listed here as McCartney and Linda, Paul and Linda.
Yeah, but even like out of that's the thing is Ringo had hits. Ringo was like the most successful Beatle for several years. Like, I mean, George had All Things Must Pass and My Sweet Lord, but Ringo had like 4 number 1 hits or something crazy like that. Yeah.
Was there a period?
You're 16. Oh my.
Yep.
Back Off Boogaloo. Was that certainly the other one? Gotta pay your dues if you want to say it. Don't come easy.
Don't come easy.
But like, is Back Off Boogaloo a hit in the United States, John?
I don't know if it's a biggie like Photograph or
Photograph too, right? That's 4
co-written by George Harrison.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what I was saying. So the essentially you got your Beatles singles, you got the Ringo track, and Ringo was getting better tracks because it wasn't like it wasn't on a Beatles album, So they would give him like, let's give Ringo one.
Well, yeah. So what is the
Ringo, just like you're saying, oh yeah, the new Ringo stuff. It's it's not bad. Blah blah. It's like everyone just liked Ringo. He got the most fan mail and stuff during like even the peak. Like it was Ringo. He humanized him. It was Ringo.
And then
he comes from a large family.
And then not on this record, but when I was looking at other songs, I was like, because I was telling John, off the top of my head, I don't know the names of his songs, but I'd click on it and be like, oh, Photograph. Sure, I know that song. Oh, this. And another one was the No-No song. I said, what? And I clicked on that. I was like, oh, yeah, that song.
Sure. And that was an AM radio hit, too.
Totally.
It was like, that was
totally remember
on.
that on the radio. Yeah.
Well, that was, and also he was funny, part of the Rick Rubin. He's like, what was ironic about that? He's like, essentially, those were all the things that I was saying yes to. Yeah,
I bet. That's what it totally sounds like that. Yeah. And then, he was part of that, what is that, Hollywood Vampires group? Or that was John Lennon.
Drinking Club.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ringo's kind of in there, like Keith Moon's hanging around and, all the rest of them. And Ringo was definitely, out there in LA at the time and drinking hard. Like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, here's another Harrison track. You and Me, Babe. You and Me, parentheses, Babe. You know that song off the top of your head?
I do not know that one off the top.
I can't think of the melody.
It's off the same record, the Ringo record, yeah.
And I know it. That's definitely the only. That's the one I have on vinyl and I have listened to several times. So.
It is a great Sunday morning record. That was definitely something I played. When the kids were younger and you're just like making pancakes or whatever on a weekend morning. That was absolutely a
happy
on the Ringo record. Bang.
And and the other thing with the Wikipedia is I'm looking through this while trying to find out who wrote the songs, but then looking at the personnel, it's like, Mark Bolan is playing on a track, Steve Cropper playing guitar on a track, Robbie Robertson. So anybody he calls is like, yeah, I'll work with a Beatle, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But Mark, he was really infatuated with T-Rex. He was in a movie with him.
Oh yeah.
There's sort of a quasi documentary about T-Rex that came out like 73, something like that. And Ringo's in it.
Oh, and nice.
John's in it too.
Is that 2,000 motels? 200 motels?
Well, I was going to say, when is this Zappa movie yet?
This movie is called like Born to Boogie, and it's like
the Born to Boogie record, sure.
Yeah, and but no, 200 Motels is Zappa, like from 69, 70.
Right.
But Ringo's in that too. So,
yeah, he's like the main character, right? Or the protagonist, I should say.
Right? Oh, that's right. Ringo's acting career too. You also got the Magic Christian, right?
I recall that Caveman movie.
That's later. When
I know that's when I picked it up. Yeah. And then of course Billy Preston is on a few tracks here. Can't shake him.
Well, yeah.
And since watching the Kimmel thing, I now got your reference, Chris, about his brother-in-law is Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
His brother-in-law is Joe Walsh.
So Barbara, what's his wife's name? Barbara
Bach has a sister that married Joe Walsh.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I was thinking the other way around. I was like, Joe Walsh has a hot sister? So those guys both married. I want to say that Joe Walsh's wife then, like, you know how they had the Benton twins? They were always on the Love Boat or whatever, Fantasy Island. Didn't like Barbara Bachman.
Those are the Lander sisters, right? There was only one Barbie Benton.
Only one Barbie Benton. Yeah. That was.
The Lander sisters, twins. Audrey and right.
I know I'm gonna violate our code here, but I gotta look up. She must have a sister that is also like a playmate.
Who? Talking about?
Yeah. His
Barbara
wife.
Bach's first, like her first, most known for, like she was in James Bond with Roger Moore. Moore, James Bond.
She
not called Moonraker. It wasn't that one. I don't think. I think it was something else.
The Spy Who Loved Me.
It could have been right. Was that Roger Moore's whatever?
Lady Starkley.
You could Google that one.
I know. I asked to.
But that's where that's and then Ringo does the Caveman movie with her with Dennis Quaid.
That's the one I remember. Dennis Quaid is in that?
Dennis Quaid.
Oh my God. I remember it was the football player, the Oakland Raiders guy that was
Alex Karras.
No, the other guy.
Nope. John Matuzak.
There you go. That's the guy. on the set of Caveman is how they met. Filmography. Let's see which. Oh, she was in a lot of these.
Yep, she was in a lot of
international hit. The Spy Who Loved Me. See, I'll take.
There it is.
I'll take TV for 200.
We'll
that's
look it up.
That's the one.
Google it, and we did.
Yeah, that's the one fact I'll get right for the rest of the show today.
Who was on the cover of the John Lennon Playboy? Though his last interview, was it Barbara Bach?
I'm still trying to find out if she had a hot sister that.
I do not know the answer to that one, Chris.
Oh, look at this. She is from Queens, New York. Barbara Goldbach from Queens, New York. An actress and a model.
There you go. So is her sister as good looking as Barbara?
They haven't mentioned it on the site, so I got to look at.
While you're going through this, I have to point out a medical malady that I'm just like. I woke up yesterday morning with and like my eye was like it hurts to touch and stuff like that. My left eye, and it was kind of swollen and this and that, and I'm just like, the heck is going on? So I've been putting warm compresses on it today.
Oh,
and stuff
sure,
like that.
Marjorie.
But it's all wacky.
Is this?
It's a good thing we're not broadcasting video.
It's like all
she she sure enough is just like her. She was a looker. Yeah, Joe Walsh is all over it.
Was she an actress as well, Tony?
You got to follow that up on that one. Yeah, 10 things you didn't know about it. She doesn't even get a Wikipedia page. Poor kid. probably parodies off Joe Walsh.
I think I can remember Barbara Bach in
people also
pretty cheesy like war movie with maybe Robert Shaw. Like it might have been The Guns of Navarone or Return to the Guns of Navarone.
More like that. Yeah.
It was like real cheese.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That
and she like shows up as some sort of, partisan, like with a beret on.
I was going to say they have to give her some sort of ethnicity,
Right. She's right.
She's a young squaw.
Right. Perfectly applied to everything, Anyway, how about that Ringo record?
The new one, the EP?
John's been sniffing around and sending out stuff like, could have got that record. Like, so looking back on it, like those records are not out of hand. So I'm speaking of John sent around a text with some autographs on it, Beatle autographs.
Oh yeah.
There was nothing insane about them. You know what I mean? They were like, okay, if you're willing to pay that, it wasn't like, it was hundreds of dollars. Like
they're hit and miss. I told you, I saw there was definitely a $4,000 Abbey Road one. And then, $750 for Meet the Beatles. I actually have my eye on a great photo.
I kind of would. Why wouldn't you want the Meet the Beatles record first? You know what I mean?
I agree. But by the way, there is a Sgt. Pepper lyric sheet or something in the back of it, I guess, that is signed, and that's the one estimated $14,000 to $18,000. But what's funny is, how usually when you see those numbers, that means they think they're going to blow past it. And most of these, they haven't hit their numbers. I feel like I'm watching much more amateur auctioneers, and they have high dreams of what it's all worth. So there was an auction that I peeked at today from Hazlitt, New Jersey, and they had a Capitol, early Beatles and like second album or something like that. And like the starting bid was like $5, but it said estimated value was like $25 to $50. And they were like, beat the shit. It was like, but it says the Beatles on it. Like people really don't know.
Ethan always says it's kind of always worth a 20. You know what I mean? He's like, I can always kind of get a 20 for a Beatle record. Yeah. Someone's going to pay it.
That was for two.
So it's always like, if you could pick them up cheaper, you can flip for 20.
The real temptation I had this week is someone had 2 copies of the Velvet Underground Banana Sticker album. Right. Famously, there's the very first pressings of it have a slide photo on the back. I don't know if you know the back of it. It has the live shot of the band, and you could see upside down like it's someone's arms. And that person said, "No, you can't use my image." Who said you use my image? And it was just a live shot where he was in some slides that Warhol had put together. So the first pressings, there's a version where you could see him. Then there's ones with there's a giant sticker that says Velvet Underground that covers him up. Oh, and then in '68 they repressed him, and all of them have the peel off banana. So these were the '68 ones, which aren't worth quite as much, but they go for hundreds of dollars each. But you got 2 for $600, and one of them had an unpeeled banana, which increases the value. But I've easily seen them go anywhere from $1,500 to I've seen ones go for $15,000 for the original ones with the intact banana sticker on it. Kind of crazy.
Some ones that have that photo in that the guy complained about.
The higher price ones have the one with his photo. But I've seen if it's a nice clean copy, easily $1,000 for even the other one. But this the argument. So I heard someone making the other day. It's like, well, if you think about it, it's a piece of Andy Warhol artwork, right? It's the sticker. It's not like Warhol painted the painting you got, right? They're silk screens. Yeah. So they're not too distant from these $1 million silk screens, So.
He took all those art school kids, made them do the work. They did all the work, and he just signed his name.
You did. It was this whole thing. It's like,